welcome. This is just going to be sheer fun. It's purposely for the holidays. I hope you all love it. I can't wait to just rip these apart. So I mentioned at the end of the sew along Monday that I had cashmere. I had been shopping and buying it at really discounted prices, and I was looking at it as yardage. So that's what I want you to do. This is a great time of year. Like even in the mail, I got off Fifth, 40%, an extra 40% off cashmere. So cashmere, when I walked in, it was 80% off, and this is another 40%. So you can see, especially like with this one, this is just going to be yardage for me. And I'm not sure right now what I'm going to do with them, but I'm going to go sew them and I'll come back and show you what I did. I'll show you the four. I've got 4 pieces. Actually, I've got 3 and I'll show you. Anyway, this one, I got it off Fifth, Saks. It is the Portolano, Portolano, Portolano wrap. And I tell you that because I love this little ruffle at the bottom. And you can get it in all different colors. And it's long enough that I can put the ruffle at the bottom and also put the bottom, and there's enough of it, the wrap. So I'm thinking of all of this just as yardage. It's so much cheaper to buy this than it is cashmere, knit cashmere by the yard. So see, I've got almost 2.5 yards. Now keep in mind, it's only the length, which is 28 inches. But there's my front, there's my back, and there's my 2 sleeves. So I'm thinking that would be really cute to have that as the bottom of the sleeve. So I think I'm just going to do a simple sweater set in this one. This is black, but they've got all different colors. This one I got at Macy's. That was the most expensive. But I had, it was $600. It was marked down to $399, and I got 80% off the $399. But see, even with this, I would have gotten an extra $40. I'm going to take it back and get my money back. I'm going to say, look, this is my sweater. It was a wrap, and I want my money back. No, I'm not really. Anyway, and so this is from Macy's. And so obviously, but it was much less on sale and everything, all my discounts, all that kind of stuff. It was like $50. So this is 28 by 28. And it's got 2 layers. So you can see I can get a front and a back. I don't know how much of a sleeve I'm going to get, but it's got a great edging down here at the bottom that I want to leave at the bottom. So I'll probably do it this way. And if I make it small enough, I might be able to eke out some sleeves. We'll see. Maybe I'll do a little tank out of this. I'm not sure yet. And then this one I put on because it's bad. You know, clearly you want to buy it larger than you need because you want to have extra. And these sleeves are absolutely just beautiful. I guess they're in style. They're not for me. But again, I was thinking, wow, a wider sleeve would fit on there. You know, the cap of the sleeve, the cap line. I wanted extra on that cap line, so that's great. My armhole, my template is underneath here. And I'm going to put my template on from the point at my shoulder where I want. I'll mark that. And then I'm going to make this have like a real armhole and put in a sleeve. So I'm just, again, this has got a great finish at the bottom, and I like the length and I like the neckline. So I think on this one, I'm just going to make it into a sweater set. French dart, just simple. This one is not a cashmere, but I love the knit. In fact, this whole ambience, anyway, I can't remember the name off the top of my head. But anyway, it's such a beautiful look, and it's hard to find, especially I've looked for all kinds of fabric because it's really stylish right now, and I've not been able to find fabric that has this gradation like this. I just love it. So anyway, what I did, because they were so inexpensive, I bought 2. So I'm not sure, again, what I'm going to do with this just yet, but I've got 2 of everything. So I should have plenty. So I got another one under here because they were so inexpensive, and I wanted to do whatever I wanted to do with them. And again, I'm buying yardage. So I'm going to go sew. I'll come back and show you what I did. It's very easy to do. You're just starting at the bottom and you lay your pattern on the bottom. And in this case, you got to cut up the same amount. I'll show you. I'll do it and then I'll show you and go through it all. All right, I'll be back. I had so much fun. I just had so much fun. You know, I guess it felt like I was sewing, but it felt like I wasn't. I'm not sure. It's confusing. But anyway, I just want to cover a couple details. I mean, basically, to take the sweater that you've bought, buy it extra big, you know, figure out what the best thing to do with it. This was the one I had on, so I stayed with the one I had on. Obviously, all I did was this is make the sweater set. 195. You can see the neckline's a little bit wider. I used the ribbing that was there on the original sweater there at the bottom of the sleeve. It's all the original. So when you think about it, I just opened up the side seams because there's literally a seam there. So I just opened up the side seams and I laid it flat. And I put my front on the front and cut it. It was longer, and just make sure you're placing the piece to where it's the same length from the bottom. So I placed it according to the neck edge. So I put the shoulders at the base of where this was and measured how much was at the bottom and made sure there's the same amount front and back so that when you get to the side, it's the same amount. The dart will be incorporated into the pattern, so don't worry about that because the dart makes that armhole higher. It's still the same length. Don't worry about that. Just follow the pattern. So then when I was making it, all I did was I sewed the French dart, I set the sleeves in, and sewed up the side seams. The neck edge was finished. This was finished. I mean, it didn't take me 30 minutes. It's just really cute. I really like it. The reason I bought this cashmere was because I love the color. It was the color I was going after. This was the one with that crazy baggy sleeves, you know? And then this is what I've got left. And I don't know if you're a quilter, gosh, you could probably do wonderful things with this. I'm not sure I'll do anything with it. But anyway, I wanted to show you that. So this is just as much my favorite. I don't have it on, but oh my gosh, this is adorable on it. Turned out just like I wanted to. So it's got a little bit of fringe, you know, the flare at the bottom. It's almost like a little peplum. It's all knitted in. You know, if someone were to say to me, did you make this? You know, I'm not sure I could say yes, because the next thing they would say is, oh, how did you do this at the bottom? And I'm like, I can't help you with that. So this is all I had left, and they're all because this was that long shawl that I folded and folded. So I just figured out I'd put both of the pieces at the bottom, or I think I had enough length that I added like 4 inches at the bottom, and so made this. So all I did here was make the French dart. So this didn't have any neckline. I serged the edge, just tucked it under and top stitched, and put the sleeve at the bottom again. So it's just adorable, just adorable. I love it. I've got a tag from Saks if I want to put the tag in, which I don't, but this one then is the one that was from Macy's. It was just $50, and by the time all the discounts were on, it had some great ribbing. What I did with it is because I didn't have enough to do a sleeve, I decided like to do like a little kimono shell. So I went back to my patterns. I had already done a kimono. I showed y'all how to do that. So this is my back. You can see there, and I just added that kimono on. And that's how I cut it. Because I did have that extra length, I went ahead and used the extra length. Because at the bottom of this particular wrap, there was that great banding. So I used the banding at the bottom, which looks really finished. So on this one, and again, the shoulder seams, no, I had to create them. I'm sorry. It was flat. I cut it open, and then I cut the front and the back kimono. So all I did was the French dart, the shoulder seams, and then serged and turned under the neck edge, and then the side seams and hemmed the sleeves. So again, it was like 30 minutes. It was so quick. And this ribbing across the bottom just really makes it look so professional. And of course, the whole thing looks hand knitted. And it's a cashmere sweater. So, and I didn't have much left over of that at all. So you're really just looking for great cashmere knit on sale, because it's not only is it hard to find, it's hard to find beautiful colors. You know, like this is called fig, grape, whatever you want to call it. They're just really hard to find. And when they are, they're way more expensive than buying it by the piece and kind of recycling it and working it backwards. So this is just an idea that I really wanted you to be aware of. It's not difficult to do. Obviously, make sure your pattern's fitted in the first place. The only tip I really want to give you is on the sleeve. For instance, when I cut that huge bagginess out of the sleeve, because you don't want a seam here, you're going to fold this in half and you lay that, like if there's a banding here, you lay the banding at the bottom and you lay this seam against the seam of the sleeve. I'm sorry, you do the opposite. You lay this fold against the outside. So in other words, you can seam here and you can take off anything you need to here. You don't want to seam it there. So I'm going to go back and show you this big extra piece that I had. This was the sleeve. I don't know if you remember, it had all these weird gathers. Anyway, so notice on this piece that's left, this is the underarm seam right there. So that's actually how much I cut out of the sleeve. But because this is the seam, you can kind of even see where I cut that sleeve. That's where the seam came out of. So this portion was against the outside of the sleeve, this upper portion of the sleeve, because you can cut away and make a seam on the inside. You only want one seam on the sleeve, and you don't want a seam up here. So use this portion of the sleeve, that whatever the sleeve looks like, and then keep your seam underneath, obviously. So I just wanted to point that out. Not that it's difficult, just kind of threw me for a minute, and then I had to think, oh yeah. All right. This is our last YouTube for the year. You know, there's so much controversy, I don't know, scuttle, whatever you want to call it, about darts. You know, my wish to you over the holidays is to just spend a little time on darts. We're going to put this DVD on sale for a while. Darts are a girl's best friend. You want to lose weight for the holidays? Stitch a couple darts. Not tight, just, you know, separate bust from waist from hip. Just make a difference. So many of us want to hide. We've gained weight. We've all gained weight. I don't think there's anybody today that weighs what they did in their 20s. I think that's just life. But we can really silhouette the body by bust darts. They don't change circumference. And vertical darts, they do change circumference. Just think them through. I promise you, my only reason for being here is to help you. There's just no other side agenda. I know how to fit, and I just want to help you. That's it. It's really that simple. So over the holidays, get some chance. You've got time. Maybe you don't, but hopefully you'll have some time to kind of watch those videos. Watch them on darts. We've got an excerpt on YouTube on Darts Are a Girl's Best Friend. Just go through it, watch it, understand it. You know, my whole goal was to get you to where you understood the patterns so that you really got to the fun part, which is playing with the fabrics and just really having fun, because they can't be fun if you don't know the patterns. All I want you to do is understand the patterns. If you have a question, just email me directly on our products, not on somebody else's products, but on a fitting related question. Just email me, Peggy@silhouettepatterns.com. It's all over the place. And I'll help you get through it, and I'll help you get to the fun, because this is just fun. All right. This one I hadn't finished. I'm going to get to it, and you'll probably see me wearing it somewhere around the road. Just don't ask if I made it, because it will confuse me. All right. So you guys have a wonderful holiday season. We will see you next year. Happy sewing from all of us. And believe me, so many people behind the scenes do so much. You know that. People say to me, how do you do it all? I don't do it all. The key to doing it all is having great people who are great, just a great team. So from all of us at Silhouette Patterns, we love you. Have a wonderful holiday season. See you next year. Bye.